welcome back to the workshop. So, have you ever really thought about this? Why does a rubber band snap right back, but if you bend a paperclip, it just stays bent? Well, today we're jumping right into the science that explains exactly that. We're tackling section 1.4, elasticity and plasticity. And I promise by the time we're done, you'll look at the stuff all around you in a totally new way.
So in our last explainer, we set the stage. We learned that every single material has this incredible life story, and it's all told by its stress-strain diagram, remember? We saw that first part, the rubber band phase, which is its elastic region. Then we saw that point of no return, that's called yielding. And finally, the material's absolute peak strength. That one diagram is the key to everything.
And that was the big idea, right? That one single line tells you a material's entire life story from start to finish. So today we're going to zoom in and really get to know the first two, and honestly the most important chapters of that story, elasticity and plasticity.
This right here is the big question for today. It sounds simple, I know, but the answer is at the core of how engineers design pretty much everything, from massive bridges to the case on your phone. And trust me, by the end of this, you are going to know exactly why.
Okay, let's dive right in. We're going to start with the first part of our materials adventure. You know, the happy, carefree, bounce-back part of its life. So take a look at this graph. Imagine we apply a little bit of stress. Think of it as a gentle pull. The material stretches or strains, and it travels along that line from O up to A. But here is the magic. If we let go, anywhere in this bounce-back zone, it travels the exact same path right back to O. It's like nothing ever happened. It has a perfect memory of its original shape. And that right there is elasticity. It's simply a material's ability to bounce back completely. You stretch it, it does its thing, you let go, and boom, it's right back where it started. No harm done. That's our rubber band.
But what happens if we push the material past that comfy, safe, bouncy zone? Well, this is where things get really, really interesting. This is where our paperclip story starts. We're heading into the plastic region. Now look at these two graphs side by side. On the left, you've got that perfect round trip we just talked about. But look at the one on the right. Here, we've pulled the material way harder, all the way up to point B. Now when we let go, see that? It doesn't go back down the same way it came up. It takes a whole new path, from B down to C. And look where it ends up. It's not back at zero anymore. That little bit of leftover stretch, that distance from O to C on the graph, well, that's got a name. It's called residual strain. I like to think of it as a permanent change, like a battle scar. It's the bend in the paperclip that you can never quite straighten out. The material literally kept a souvenir from its stressful trip. Okay, but here's where it gets kinda wild. This permanent change, this souvenir, isn't always a bad thing. In fact, our material has just picked up a surprising new superpower.
So let's trace that journey one more time. We pulled it past its comfort zone to point B, then we let it go, and it ended up with that permanent stretch at point C. So now it's just a little bit longer than it was when we started.
So I've got a question for you. Take a second. We're starting from this new point, point C. What do you think the graph is going to look like if we start pulling on our permanently bent paperclip a second time?
And here's the amazing part. When we pull on it again from point C, it now acts perfectly elastic all the way up to point B. We've actually raised its elastic limit. By stretching it past its original limit, we actually made it stronger. This is a real thing. It's called work hardening, and it's a huge deal in engineering. How cool is that?
So far, we've only talked about what happens when you pull something and then immediately let it go. But there's another character in this whole story that we haven't even talked about yet, and that character is time. See, there are two really important things that can happen to materials over long periods: creep and relaxation. These are super critical for engineers who are designing things that need to last for, years or even decades. Creep happens when you have a constant load, and relaxation happens when you have a constant stretch. The absolute perfect example of creep is an old bookshelf. You load it up with heavy books, and yeah, the shelf bends a little bit right away. But if you come back 5 years later, you'll notice it sagged even more. The load, the weight of the books, that never changed, but time itself caused the shelf to slowly deform. That's creep. And for relaxation, anybody who plays guitar will know this one. You tune your guitar, right? You're tightening a string, stretching it to a very specific length to get the right note. You've set a constant strain.
But if you pick it up a week later, it's flat. It's out of tune. Why? Because the stress, the tension inside that string, has slowly relaxed and faded away over time, even though the string's length never changed.
All right, you have officially journeyed through the entire life story of a material, from its bouncy elastic childhood to its permanent plastic changes. So let's put that new knowledge to the test with a super quick pop quiz.
First up, think about that rubber band. What's the word for that perfect bounce-back property?
Question number 2. What do we call that little souvenir from the stressful journey? You know, the permanent bend in our paperclip?
And for the final question, that sagging bookshelf, sitting there under the constant weight of all your textbooks. What's the name for that slow, time-dependent change? Okay, pencils down. Let's see how you did. The answer to number 1 is, of course, elasticity. For number 2, that permanent stretch is called residual strain. And finally, that saggy old bookshelf is a classic example of creep. I hope you nailed it.
So look, if you walk away with anything today, just remember this. Materials have 2 main behaviors. There's elastic, where they bounce back perfectly, and then there's plastic, where they bend and just stay that way. That permanent bend is called residual strain, and weirdly enough, it can sometimes make the material even stronger. And of course, never forget that time is always in the background, making materials slowly creep or relax.
And just like that, you know the difference between elasticity and plasticity. Hey, if this explainer made things a little clearer for you, do me a favor and hit that like button. And seriously, if you have any questions or notes or just want to say hi, drop them in the comments. We actually read every single one.
Now that you're an expert on the elastic region, you are totally ready for our next deep dive. Next time, we are jumping into section 1.5 to uncover Hooke's law. It is the one beautifully simple rule that governs pretty much everything that stretches. It's the golden rule of elasticity, and you are not going to want to miss it. So make sure you follow so you get the notification. Thanks for hanging out.